The African National Congress says it is counting on fellow G20 member states to intervene and convince the United States administration to include South Africa in next year's G20 Leaders Summit. This follows public remarks by U.S. President Donald Trump indicating that South Africa will not be invited to the summit, a position that has drawn sharp criticism from Pretoria. ANC National Executive Committee member Thandi Maraka confirmed that the party has established a dedicated commission to focus on international relations. Maraka spoke during the ANC's National General Council meeting currently underway in Ekurhuleni, where the party is reviewing its performance and policy direction. She stressed that South Africa's foreign policy remains independent and grounded in national interests, regardless of the concerns raised by Washington. Her comments come just weeks after South Africa successfully hosted the G20 summit in Johannesburg, the first time the gathering was held on African soil. The United States notably declined to attend the event, despite South Africa's efforts to reach out and stabilize relations. Maraka accused the U.S. administration of spreading disinformation about South Africa, pointing to the long-standing narrative promoted by President Trump. These claims alleged white South Africans are under violent threat and that land is being unlawfully seized from white farmers, which have been repeatedly rejected by the South African government. She also referenced a recent high-level delegation, led by President Cyril Ramaphosa, that traveled to Washington to counter accusations that so-called genocide was taking place in South Africa. According to Maraka, the intention was to clarify misrepresentations and affirm the country's constitutional commitments to human rights and legal processes. Despite these efforts, she said the U.S. continues to treat South Africa in ways that undermine diplomatic respect and sovereignty. She reiterated that South Africa's position within the G20 is not conditional and cannot be overridden by unilateral decisions from any one country. Maraka emphasized that G20 membership is determined collectively, arguing that no individual head of state has the authority to decide which member countries are allowed to participate. She added that if the U.S. insists on excluding South Africa from activities during its G20 presidency, then the broader regulatory framework governing the G20 will need to be reviewed. According to Maraka, a specialized ANC subcommittee is currently examining the full scope of international relations challenges, including the tensions with Washington. She noted that the South African government remains committed to maintaining productive diplomatic ties with the U.S., despite recent frictions. Maraka said South Africa will continue engaging the United States to strengthen relations, highlighting the long history of cooperation between the two nations. However, she warned that diplomatic respect must be mutual and consistent with international norms. The ANC now hopes that other G20 member states will intervene and persuade the U.S. administration to recognize South Africa's full status in the group. Maraka said the responsibility rests with the collective, not individual leaders, to uphold G20 principles and ensure that no member state is excluded based on political disagreements or personal positions.